Elephant. Elephant.
Mande, mira. Mira. Mira, aplástale. A human. Just a human heart. A monkey's heart.
The elephant? Oh, you want to do the elephant?
Reténlo. Hold it. No, hold it. Push it.
Sí.
Vente. Alex. Vente. No, mira, look at these. Hold on. The veins. Mande. Mira, papi. This your heart. What is that? Arteries. So much blood we can hold. Up to a gallon.
Over and over all day. I think when they have to operate, and they clean your mouth, you think about
What is this?
You need to exercise it like you would any other moment. The exercise helps because it's harder to do naturally.
Throw it just like you're throwing a ball, like you're throwing a ball. Yeah.
arm, fingers, hands, face, hearing. Good job! Good job! Daddy. Pues agárrala. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. You too. Thank you. It's raining. Today is a day of museums, apparently. Look at that bell. The bell. Huh? No, imagine antes. This was a fire truck. Was it like the King's fire truck or something? Looks like a royal carriage. No, because right here is a hose. So they carry the water in there probably. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. It's like a very fancy one. Look at, oh my god, oh, this is a different one. How freaking pretty. I want a fire truck like this.
got a fire truck, a 1923 American LaFrance. It's in Gallery 2. There's a pedestal in front of it. That's the truck that started this whole museum. In 1970, he brought it out here from Kenosha, the museum, on Scottsdale Road. In 1974, on this land, which is government land, the zoo, the botanical garden, the historical museum over across the way, and the park are all government land. They pay whatever it is, $1 a year, $1 10 years, I don't know what it is, I never heard. And they put this here, and we have about 80 pieces here today, and we have another 30 some down in the storage building down at the end of the parking lot that's not being showed that are in storage. Don Hale, our restorer, if you read anything about him in there, we figure he touched 80 to 90% in his 30 years that he worked here. When you get done with the museum seeing it, there's another 2.5 galleries connected to this building that's storage and then his work area. Today, he passed away about 2 years ago or so now. We have not did any restoring here. He did it all here. Don learned the trade from his grandfather. His grandfather worked for the movie studios in the 20s and 30s. And everything the cowboys and Indians busted up, his dad fixed. So Don was a career firefighter in California. Ended up being assistant chief of maintenance. And he had his own body shop. He fixed everything. The man touched everything in this museum, to where the t-shirts are, the maid that holds them, just everything. There's nothing the guy couldn't do. Absolutely nothing. Very private guy. When he was in his prime and doing, he wouldn't even let us back there where he worked. He had locks on the inside. He wouldn't let him put a phone in there for a long time, and finally they just said, we have to. They did end up putting a camera back there later, but he'd lock up when he was doing stuff. He didn't want nobody around. And he wouldn't come out on the floor if somebody would come in and say, hey, I got this truck, or I'm so-so and I want to talk to Don about something. Wouldn't come. Later years, when he couldn't do much anymore, and the last actually 2.5 years, he would come out more. We got him a scooter so he could go around anywhere, and he'd come out and talk to people. But as long as he was all strictly business. So, and a really nice guy. There was the only thing that stopped him that we always went to dinner at noon. Every Saturday morning at 7:30, 8 o'clock, he was in here. I mean, that was his routine. And if you wanted to be around him or something, because I've been here 22 years volunteering, and I'm an asker. I'd ask Don, say, what about this? What about that? And that's the way I found out a lot of the stories, because every piece in here's got a story. Absolutely every piece in here. You see all the equipment today. The only piece in the 22 years I've been here that we bought is the pieces in between the princess carriages, I call them. Said Philadelphia Volunteer on it. That's the only piece we bought. We bought that from a Hudson, New York museum, fire museum. And that's the only piece that we've bought. Everything else, since I've been here that's come in, is sometimes we had to pay for freight to get them here. And we did hook up several times with Night Trucking and Swift Trucking, which are headquartered out here. They would bring a truck back east for us for just the fuel when they had something coming back. So, but this is a Metropolitan steam engine made in Cincinnati, Ohio, 1904, going to Reno, Nevada. 750 gallon a minute pumper, big pumper, 5-inch intake, 2.5s out. And if you're in the fire service, I just lied to you, because every 2.5, this is a 2.5. When we talk about 2.5 on a hydrant, both sides are 2.5s. If you look at the old one around the corner, before we had steam, there wasn't no steamer, which is called, that's what that is, a steamer, because we didn't have steam with the big hookup to get the big water. And I don't know if you know how a fire plug comes in. You ever heard it, where the saying a fire plug come in? If you was on the wall, you looked on the second row over there on the wall, there's a piece of log in the inside. They started out in Cincinnati, a couple gentlemen started a company that they put solid logs down with hollowed out in the inside, and there's one piece back there. And what they do is put them in, and then they'd mark them down in the ground. When they'd have a fire, they would stop there, auger in, cut into the hole, tap in like what I call a beer tap today, similar type, water would come out. They started out with just digging a hole, and then they got pails, and they got a shut off. But originally, and when they filled that piece of wood back up, before they covered it up, they put a plug in. and that's where fire plugs come in to today. This here is when you got a draft, and draft is, if you don't know, go to McDonald's, take a straw and take a soda, and you're drafting. The water tank there, the draft, the pull on here, and what it would do, and you follow the copper lines down, this will run 5% faster, 95% faster, 5% than what it's doing today. Pull and push piston. If you'd have looked at the 1725, the oldest piece we have in here, pull and pull piston, just exactly like this here. Back and forth on it. That one's on a chain. This is on a cam, just like the car you come in on. Oil grippers, this is metal to metal, metal to metal, several places on here. So when this run out, they'd have to squirt with oil, and there's oil cans around here on this. And they would run as long as you had coal and water. Just like today, if you got diesel fuel and you got water, they'll run for days. And they did run for days. When this piston's pulling up, it's pulling the water up out of here, pushing it out into the manifold there. The government back there, a 750 should have 3 outlets. Today, if you walk around the truck, it's got 5 outlets, it's a 1250. You know exactly $250 for every 2.5 outlet on it. Federal law. Today, back then, no law. They put on what they want. The air chamber, did you notice all of them had the big air chamber up on top here with that there? The air chamber is what they found out. When you move water, you move air. And especially with steel, you had little tips out and make air into the thing. It would come out, when the water come out, the air would come along, and as soon as air come and no water, hose fall down, start with water, pick back up. That's what the air chamber did. 3/4 full of water, a little bit of air in the top, and more steady. Today it's electrically done in the truck, but it's still there, even with the new plastic lines and stuff like that.
Is that taking place at the
No, you still had the prime. That had nothing to do with prime. No, it was just strictly to keep the surge out. And this in here's got a surge. It's got 2 more of them down here, which is a little unusual. It would take the surge out while it's pulling up itself. It would keep helping it with the surge too. And if you don't believe me, there's air in the line. You look at the hydrant over there. That's a real hydrant. And the where you turn it on at is what, 5 feet down from where it is. My frost line back in Ohio, where I'm from, we were 7 feet down, and all the way down at the bottom's where the water is. All air in between it. So that air goes somewhere, and it goes right into the system. Yep. So we got this piece, and we're going to run it. It's going to take 3 horses. 3 big horses. That's what I asked. I said, how do you determine, the house coming out of 4-hitch? Nobody can tell. The answer is, I think it's control. It's such a big piece, they didn't have as good a control as what a wagon could have. Don't know the reason. The answer was, the director told us, bigger horses. So I let it go with that. So we got 3 horses here, but we got to haul the coal and the hose. So we're going to need 2 wagons up there where the Dalmatian dogs are. We're going to need 2 of them. They're going to have 4 horses each. So we got 11 horses going to the fire. And to keep, you know what the Dalmatian dog's in the fire service for? There you go. He hit her right on the nail head. They take the horses to the fire, unhook them, take them a block or 2 away, keeps the horses calm. Fire service didn't learn that on our own. We learned it from the stagecoach operators. They took them along because they were great watchdogs. When they'd stop at night, they would protect the horses from animal or stealers. So the fire department, we only just took half of it, the calmness part of it. Yep. So where are you from? Wisconsin? Somewhere? Wisconsin. Yeah, we got a lot of Wisconsin pieces in here. And Chicago area and stuff like that.
Did you see that no one is currently restoring anything since
No,
that
not for us,
gentleman
no.
died?
Right.
Yeah.
We only have one piece down in the storage building. It's a Grand Canyon. It was donated to us. It's a Jeep. I don't remember what year, 50-some Jeep. It's got a front mount pump, and we got it all tore down. But yeah, when Don passed, he wanted to start. You'll see it in gallery too. A little Bush Chief's buggy right inside this door here. And he started restoring. He didn't get it done. We took it out and had it restored. But I don't know what they'll do with the other pieces. Our guys are tearing down the one. We did that too. We'd help Don tear the stuff all off. And actually, when we first started here, our volunteers started in '93. I come in early '96, and we couldn't touch anything. Or if we was going to do a work day or work night or whatever it was, he had to tell us, "You're going to clean this. You're going to clean that. Don't get up on that. Don't do this here." In the end, us volunteers did everything. Don trusted us with everything, and the museum couldn't do without it, because we do the electrical stuff. We got 2 engineers that work for, one for Motorola and one for, I can't remember what the other one is, that does our electrical stuff and just things like that there. Yeah, and we have them from all over the United States, and one from Canada. I was for many years the only snowbird in the group. We have 3 of them now. I come in October, and I go out when the snow gets better in Ohio. No snow, I should say. Yeah. But yeah, in the book, there's a lot of Wisconsin pieces in here.
Yep. Thank you.
And Chicago. Yep. Yep. So enjoy.
Thank you.
Where are you folks from?
Just west of Chicago.
Oh, just west of Chicago. We down below, I'll tell you some of the pieces. We have an oak lawn that's down in storage, and then we also have a South Elgin, Illinois.
We're gonna go this way. There's more
Calumet
cars.
City. Yeah.
These are all firefighters. It's a lot. Alex. Cheese. Hey.
I've been there several times. Nice museum. But they can only
Come on.